Walt Disney World Railroad. We're about to take a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom, with stops along the way at Frontierland and Fantasyland. Sit tight and keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs well inside the train. We're leaving Main Street Station right now, so...
If your leg is outside the train, could you please put it inside? Thank you.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
For an old conductor like me, there's no better place to ride the rails than the Magic Kingdom. By the way, we're traveling on pure steam power. This old locomotive is descended from the mighty trains that powered the golden age. Kingdom, anything is possible, and we're headed straight to the heart of Adventureland. It can get pretty wild in these parts, especially if you run into Captain Jack Sparrow. He's hiding out among those scurrilous pirates of the Caribbean. But whether you're boarding a boat from the Jungle Cruise or flying on Aladdin's magic carpets, you visit Adventureland, bring an extra dose of bravery. As for me, I'll stay safe and sound right here aboard my train, if you don't mind. Folks and country bears. And we've got our own mountain range. Or hop on over to Splash Mountain and join Brer Rabbit for a 50-foot drop straight down into the Briar Patch. We've reached Frontierland Station, everyone. If you're disembarking here, please carry your strollers all the way off the platform. Frontierland Station.
We're not entering Frontierland. Taking your closest stop to Adventureland and Liberty Square. Please remain seated until the train comes to a full-line complete stop, and I'm giving you the all clear. Once again, please remain seated until the train comes to a full-line complete stop, and I'm giving you the all clear. Remain seated, please.
Joining us, welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Railroad. We're headed for Fantasyland and to U.S.A. Everybody stay seated. Keep your hands and arms, feet and legs safely inside the train. And as always, keep an eye on your little ones.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We do ask that you please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train at all times. Make sure none of the feet are dangling outside the train, please.
Is that any way to run a railroad? I feel right at home here in the prairies and forests of the American wilderness. These woods haven't changed much since the days when settlers started getting... Used to take months, now he made in 50. Feed along the banks of the river. Naturally, plenty of early settlers decided to put down stakes and live here too. Those early settlers weren't the first to make their home on this wild frontier. These native tribes of Plains Indians, living, hunting, and trading,
before we ever came along. We were the first to tame the wild horses of the American plains, long before our big old iron horses started shuffling parts. Fantasyland, a place where any dream can come true. Fly over London with Peter Pan. Set sail on It's a Small World. Take a trip under the sea with the Little Mermaid. Or be our guest at an enchanted feast in the Beast's castle. Whether you're a pixie, a princess, or just an everyday dreamer, there's always something special about Fantasyland. Riding trains as long as this headquarters as the Fantasyland Storybook Circus. This is the place to fly high with Dumbo, or join Goofy on the Barnstormer, a rollicking ride of circus acrobatics and coaster thrills. This station is also your gateway to the rest of Fantasyland and tomorrow. From the platform before you start unfolding them.
That way we can start those back for the next attraction. For those of you who have
Close to approach Fantasyland Station, we do ask that you remain seated until this train comes to a full and complete stop.
Looks like we're ready to embark on the next leg of our journey. Our destination is Main Street, U.S.A. Now, everyone stay seated and keep your hands and arms, feet and legs inside the train at all times. And please keep an eye on your children.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
There are some who say that this steam train is a little old-fashioned, but for me, it's the only way to travel. Of course, there are those who prefer to hit the highway. Just like spot some pint-sized doctors taking a first spin behind the wheel of the car. Deal in Tomorrowland, where you might board a people mover, zip around on the astral orbiter, or book a flight across the galaxy at our busy star-watching Space Mountain. Tomorrowland is truly a world on the move. Speaking of moving, it seems like a whole lot of new neighbors have been migrating in from all corners of the Milky Way. There's that rascally Experiment 626, better known as Stitch, always up to his usual antics. Buzz Lightyear is scouting for a few good space rangers. Even the monsters of Monstropolis have taken a shine to Tomorrowland. I hear those monsters are pretty funny. They're sure funny looking. Yep, the future is here today at the Magic Kingdom. And the future looks like a lot of fun. But after working on the railroad all the live-long day, it's nice to come home to good old Main Street, USA. Inspired by the small-town dreams of a young Walt Disney, a walk down Main, we've made a complete trip around the Magic Kingdom. For those of you who've been on board for the whole journey, thanks for putting up with me these past few days. If you're staying with us, we'll be headed for Frontierland next. Right now, please stay seated until our train comes to a complete stop. If you let the forest unfold, please take them all the way beyond the platform so we can safely board passengers for the next leg of our journey. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.
We're now entering Main Street Station. Please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop, and I've given you the all clear. Once again, please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop, and I've given you the all clear. Remain seated, please. Just a little longer. We are almost there. Remain seated, please. You're all clear. Watch your step and thank you. And if you have any strollers with you, please keep them folded. I'll see you above the platform and exit it through the exit gate.